Hello and welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Omotayo Alo. President Muhammad Buhari will undertake a one-day official visit to Accra, the Ghanaian capital, on Monday, September 7, 2015. During the visit, President Buhari will confer with his Ghanaian counterpart, President John Dramani Mahama, on bilateral relations, regional security, trade and other issues of common interest in Nigeria, Ghana and all the members of the economic community of West African states. The president is also expected to meet with members of the Nigerian community in Ghana and entrepreneurs before returning to Abuja on Monday evening. It will be accompanied to Accra by the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Munguno, and the permanent secretaries in the Federal Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Defense, Justice, and Industry, Trade and Investment. President Muhammad Buhari has commended Bishop Mike Okonkwo's lifelong commitment to the service of God and humanity. In a congratulatory letter to the presiding bishop of the Redeemed Evangelical Mission TREM on the occasion of his 70th birthday anniversary, President Buhari praised the bishop's tireless dedication to his duty as a spiritual shepherd of many Nigerians and non-Nigerians. The president wished Bishop Okonkwo, members of his family, and the Redeemed Evangelical Mission a very happy celebration of his birthday. One of the promises made by President Muhammad Buhari just before he assumed office was to publicly declare his assets within the first 100 days. But shortly after, one of his media aides, Gabashew, let out details of the assets listed on the forms deposited at the Code of Conduct Bureau. Nigerians have been expressing their views. But CIA spoke with some resident of Abuja and filed in his report.
The dust has not yet settled on the formal announcement of President Buhari's assets, as well as that of his deputy, and Nigerians in the FCT are already expressing diverse views. Even the explanation by his media aide seems to have ignited more arguments than necessary. This man is one of those who thinks that this is a situation of the more you look, the less you see. Is not convinced about the property and figures now in the public domain.
How long did it take you to declare? Let us be sincere. If he has done that, we would have seen it. The one that was done by El-Rufai Union published it. I'm a journalist. Most of us know these things. If I can tell you, I am presently the chairman of Association of Igbo Media Practitioners of Nigeria, Ogenendi Igbo. There's nothing about media we don't know. The one that El-Rufai declared caused a lot of problem. He even threatened to go to court because a union newspaper published it. If he declared it a day or two after having taken the office, some of us don't know. Because as I said, we know him as someone of integrity who will come and say the truth. And he doesn't take time. He's fighting corruption. He should start from fighting from himself and do what is expected of him. I don't know that he declared it after a day or 2 days he took over from Jonathan. So that's what I'm saying.
But these two maintain that the president's competence and not assets should be the point of focus.
The president has done the needful. He promised during the electioneering campaign period that he will declare his assets. I think 1 month, into the saddle. But, well, close to 100 days and fulfilling that promise, it's a good start. No one is perfect, but at least he has kept his word.
For me, I think it's really not about what he has. I think the post for presidency is the ability to rule, not really with what you have. Because we have had a lot of rich people come into this position and we've seen what they've done. So whether he has acquired more within the past 100 days or he hasn't acquired, it doesn't have anything to do with the effect of the change we want. So for me, I think I'm part of the team that has to do with let's just sit focused and look at what he is going to deliver with or without what he has or not. And he's the president for crying out loud, and I think he deserves even better than what he says he has. And if he has more than what he says he has, then good for him. That's why he's the president.
These individuals may have spoken their mind, but public commentators insist that these are still early days. So the last may not have been heard on issues surrounding the assets of President Buhari and his deputy, Osinbajo. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Labour Party is not impressed with the information released by the presidency from the assets declaration firms of President Muhammad Buhari and his deputy Yemi Osinbajo. It insists that the details are not in line with laid-down procedures in asset declaration. The party's national secretary, Kayode Ajilo, told CoreTV News that assets of the spouses of the president and his deputy should have also been listed. 100 days in office has over the time become a moral standard used in measuring the activities of a new government, and that of President Muhammad Buhari is not an exception. For Maurice Fanyon, an activist, 100 days of Buhari has been a foundation-laying process for a greater Nigeria, a move he described as good for the country.
The step everybody is seeing now that the Buhari administration is there to put some structures on the ground that will make a change in Nigeria. That's what we are saying. We are talking that anytime we get good leadership, or the leadership that has the interests of the nation and the people, things will start changing.
The fear of Buhari is the beginning of stability of electricity. It is the beginning of the workability of our refinery. That list should be made public. Let Nigerians know those who stole our money. If Americans have deemed it necessary to give him that list, he shouldn't keep that list to himself.
With Buhari administration, if the way it starts, he can stand on it, even go deeper. With the support of the masses, the support of the intellectuals, the support of the revolutionary groups in Nigeria, things will change.
The Legislative House's Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Jos has upheld the election of Jin Jang of the PDP as senator representing Plateau North Senatorial District in the National Assembly. The three-member tribunal presided over by Justice Akeredolu dismissed the petition of Aisha Sambu of the APC for locking in merit. The tribunal held that the petitioners failed to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt. Delivering the judgment, Justice Akeredolu said the witnesses presented by the petitioners only testified in hearsay as they were not present at the polling units on the day of the election. She further held that the evidence presented by the petitioners were not properly certified and could not hold sway. Akeredolu ordered that a compensation of 200,000 each be paid to Jang and the PDP. Sunday Oyawale, counsel for Jang, said the judgment was well considered and in accordance with the laws of the land. The All Progressives Congress and its candidates in the April 11, 2015 governorship candidate election, in Rivers State on Saturday reported to the State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja that the witnesses who had earlier testified were receiving threats to their life from unknown persons. The petitioners mailed the complaint of the alleged threat to their witnesses to the tribunal through their lawyer, Akin Olujimi. Olujimi said witnesses were receiving threats warning them never to return to Port Harcourt, the state capital. Responding, Wike's lawyer, Emmanuel Kala, denied knowledge of such threat, adding that Olujimi should have informed him of such a development before bringing it to the tribunal. The Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Lokoja has fixed September 8 for the hearing of a petition filed by Smart Adigemi against the election of Dino Melai. The chairman of the tribunal, Ikon Ipeme, fixed the date while closing pre-hearing in the petition challenging the election of Melai as the senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District. Before closing the pre-hearing session, the tribunal also granted Adeyemi's prayers to call additional witnesses and admitted the report of the recounted ballot papers in 21 polling units. The petitioner's prayer for determination of the primary election of the first and second respondent was also granted by the tribunal. The tribunal also granted the request of the Independent National Electoral Commission to withdraw its amended motion of reply to the petition filed by Adigemi on April the 3rd. Kaduna residents have been expressing mixed emotions over the first 100 days of Governor Nasir El-Rufai in office. While many expressed optimism of better times ahead, a number of them are not too impressed with what they have experienced so far. Amina Anebi has more in this report presented from our studio.
After 16 years, the People's Democratic Party lost out to the All Progressives Congress in the 2015 general elections. Kaduna State, which has been controlled by the PDP for 16 years, witnessed a change in leadership when the APC won the 2015 elections. But 100 days down the line, many residents of the capital of the old northern region have been speaking on their experiences since the change of button. Their opinion of the El-Rufai administration is as varied as their personalities.
For me, what I will assess in these 100 days for this government, there's nothing to show on ground that the government has done something or will be doing something. And with the way things are going, I believe in the next 1 year, I don't think the electorates will be able to see any physical development on ground as things are going on.
Everyone that finds himself in whatever position now, it is God that decided to make that person or to put that person in that particular office. So I am not someone that complains about who is in government or who is not in government. But so far, to me, if I'm to judge the government of APC, so far so good. It's not in government.
They are also convinced there have been changes between the style of administration of the incumbent governor and the previous ones.
The government of Governor Nasir El-Rufai, I still have my support for him, but truly, I'm not so much pleased with the way appointments have been made. It has violated everything that we know about Kaduna. Kaduna is a volatile state. We have 13 commissioners, 9 are Muslims, 4 are Christians. You give the impression that Muslims should at least make a percentage of 70% of the state, and we know Christians are in the majority. And anybody who says that religion does not play a part in this country must be living in a fool's paradise.
Some people may say 100 days is a bit early, I mean too short, and so on and so forth. But personally, if I have to say, if you don't assess based on the current event, then on what indices will you assess a government? For example, 100 days in office are the yardstick now for us to determine whether the government has performed. When it is 120 days, we assess the government based on 120 days. If it is 150 days, we assess the government on that basis. So for now, we are assessing the government on the basis of 100 days, not 4 years. So on the basis of 100 days in office, I have personally not seen anything.
While many may not agree on the achievements of the El-Rufai administration, they are all hopeful that the incumbent governor would improve on what he met on ground when he assumed office on May 29, 2015.
The candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the October 2012 governorship election in Ondo State, Olushola Oke, has advised the state governor Olusegun Mimiko to judiciously utilize the 14 billion naira federal government bailout for payment of workers' salaries up to date and for developmental projects in the state. Oke, who joined the All Progressives Congress from the PDP shortly after the presidential election in March, also called on all well-meaning citizens of the state to advise the governor on the proper use of the bailout. In a statement issued by his media aide, Rotimi Ogunleye, the APC chieftain said now that huge resources will accrue to the coffers of the state, it will serve the purpose of prosperity if the fund is used to defray all the arrears of workers' salaries invested in income-generating and social service delivery assets and channeled to projects that have long-standing economic benefits for the state. We'll take a break now and we'll be back with more. Stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws has done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Also, some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome, and if you're just joining us, it's CoreTV News at 4. For more of our news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News, our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. You could get more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, Live Space and News. And to Ekiti State, a promise to deliver the dividends of democracy has always been the matter of politicians. And sometimes citizens might be lucky when those politicians fulfill their promises. And in Ekiti State, while Governor Ayodele Fayose champions stomach infrastructure, an APC chieftain is also reaching out to commercial motorcyclists in what is clearly seen as the build-up to 2018 governorship elections. Rashid monitors how these strategies play out in the minds of Ekiti people and files in this report.
This is no race or a trophy, but for getting 2 liters of freely distributed PMS, an act that is fast becoming a trend in Ekiti State politics as the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress outwit each other in the scheming of winning the heart of the electorate. While the PDP-led government by Ayodele Fayose interacts with the downtrodden with the stomach infrastructure policy, the APC are not left behind with the distribution of 2 liters of fuel to commercial motorcyclists on a monthly basis, sponsored by former Speaker of the state, Femi Bamishila. However, Bafem says it's simply a service to humanity and not a political game.
The process that we're doing is trying to aid the system. We have a problem in Ekiti State that we all know, which is the problem that we don't have too much money here. And so everybody who is well-meaning to the people of Ekiti State, who can give out, should be able to do that for the people of Ekiti.
To the commercial motorcyclists, weighing between Fayose's stomach infrastructure and 2 liters of PMS was a difficult case to judge.
In time of new developments, we can see stomach infrastructure is there. That is all Ekiti people need.
While the Ekiti State government gets set to demolish and rebuild the burnt Erekesa market, the APC has accused the government of neglecting those who lost their goods to the inferno by not providing relief materials.
Next week, I will follow the letter myself to Abuja. Relief material.
With the war of words not abating and now matched with actions, political observers say the race to Okyayoba in 2018 is clearly not a child's play. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Stomach infrastructure, you would say. And now to Lagos. Lagos state government has restated its determination to ensure strict enforcement of the Road Traffic Law 2012, restricting trailers and long vehicles from plying the metropolis between the hours of 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transportation, Oluseyi Wenu, who spoke to journalists on the background of the fatal accident involving a container-laden trailer in September 2, said the trailer contravened Section 2, Subsection 1 and 2 of the Traffic Law. Wenu states that the state government will henceforth go thorough on the trailer and long vehicles that contravenes the law, as such vehicle will be impounded and made to pay the stipulated fine accordingly. Meanwhile, leaders of various transport unions and associations in the state at the weekend rose from a meeting with officials of the state government with a resolve to support the new directive introduced in apprehending traffic offenders. Wenu at the meeting clarified the state government's position on the new directive, saying that last-mile officials have not been withdrawn from performing their statutory responsibilities on the road. They therefore solicited the cooperation and support of all transport operators in ensuring the success of this laudable initiative, and to also warn their members not to see this act of humanness by the state government as a sign of weakness by attacking last-mile or any other enforcement agents, as these would be sanctioned in accordance with relevant provisions of the law. The 31 Artillery Brigade, Mina, said it has arrested the suspected cattle rustler and recovered 97 cows and 41 sheep in Sakin Power Moya local government area of Niger. Captain Ago Injideka, Assistant General Army Public Relations of the Nigerian Army, Mina, said this while briefing newsmen in Mina on Saturday. Injideka said the suspect Abubakar Zan was arrested last Thursday in an operation led by Lieutenant Colonel Adamu Yakubu, commanding officer 313 Artillery Regiment, Mina. She said the army authorities had handed the suspect and the livestock to the chairman of the local government council in the presence of the DPO's Sakin Power Division, the council secretary, and village head of Zazaga community in the area. She said the operation to get rid of criminals in the area was ongoing and one that the brigade under the leadership of Brigadier General Baba Ibrahim would not tolerate criminal acts in the area. She advised members of the public to go about their normal businesses without fear of intimidation. Njideka urged any person with useful information that could lead to the arrest of the suspected criminals that fled to report to the nearest security agency. And meanwhile, as the current upsurge of helicopter crashes in the country continue to draw different reactions from commentators, aviation experts, Babatunde Adetayo says the policies in the sector needs a serious revamp for the incidence of crashes to stop and also for the general development of the sector. Olajumoke Olatunji has more on a reaction with him in this report.
Transportation by air and its many challenges has directly affected the Nigerian economy in negative ways over the years. The aviation industry has witnessed the loss of lives and property, running into billions of naira due to alleged mismanagement and air accidents across the Federation. For these aviation experts, Babatunde Adetayo, the current policies in the aviation sector needs to be revamped for the sector to really be one of pride for all Nigerians.
One of the things to be done is to have a well-articulated aviation policy, national aviation policy. This will set the tone for many other things in aviation. This must be made, revised, and published so people will know. So even now we are thinking of having a national carrier. That is something that will be like Nigerian Airways, to be able to cut across board, go everywhere in the world, to carry Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike. Now that one to be done, that means we have to have a bankable business plan in place. A business plan for a national business must address three key things: the growth of the economy, the development of the people, and the integration.
From 1969 to 2012, a total of 2,021 people have lost their lives and property to air mishaps. He added that the Accident Investigation Bureau should also be empowered to ensure the issue of search and rescue, which has been a major sticking point in this sector, is addressed.
Normally in aviation, we don't apportion blame to anybody. Because if you blame people, people will be afraid to do what is right. They will be afraid to do what is best for the industry. And you will not be able to find out the truth. No, it is not. Because usually these boxes are placed in a place that should an aircraft crash, it's easy for you to, if you are trained, you can easily find, you know where to find it, because it's usually placed in a place that is strategic, such that even when there's a crash, it doesn't go with the larger part of the aeroplane. Okay, but if it crashes in a place like the ocean, like the sea, being a box, when it goes down, it can easily move. And usually, we need to educate people too. For example, a fisherman might have seen it. The so-called black box is not black in color. On the box of it, some are orange, some have the yellow stripes. That's the color, so that it can be seen easily.
Nigeria has 20 airports and many regulated airstrips and heliports, 23 active domestic airlines, 554 licensed pilots, 913 licensed engineers, and 1,700 cabin personnel. Nigeria, being Africa's most populous country, is an important destination for over 22 foreign carriers with bilateral air services agreements with over 78 countries. But for many, all this had to be complemented by good policies and a comprehensive infrastructural upgrade of facilities in the sector. Olajumoke Olatiji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria urged President Muhammad Buhari to be cautious in formulating policies that would have grave implications on the economy. The association said it had been collaborating with the Central Bank of Nigeria to determine items that should be excluded from forex allocation based on availability of local capacity or alternatives. MAN said such collaboration would reveal the actual items that should be excluded from the market. The association asked the federal government to sustain the policies, especially at a time investors might have invested on the domestic production of such items. MAN asked the president to introduce the Import Adjustment Tax of 20% on imported finished pharmaceutical products with code 3003 and 03004 because Nigerian manufacturers have the capacity to produce them. Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, Chukas Onaiko, in an interactive session with stakeholders in Plateau State, has called for the training and retraining of more artisans. It decries the rate of unemployment in the country, especially among the youth, which has been directly connected to several vices that is affecting the daily lives. Our Plateau State correspondent has details in this report.
The Industrial Training Fund, which has its national headquarters located in Jos Plateau State, is calling on the nation and its training institutions to shift a bit from producing university graduates to the production of artisans and skilled workers who will help to drive the economy of the nation and also reduce the cancerous unemployment challenges.
The training managers, that it's important that we catch them young. There's no need waiting till students are in the universities or graduating before you now begin to tell them you need to go and learn the hard work, you need to go and learn the skill. At that time, it's already too late. If you look at countries that are fully industrialized, you will see the trend. The technical vocational enrollment is higher than the general education enrollment. A lot of them are not struggling to go into the universities to go and study law, medicine, and all of that.
Chukas Onaiko added that the unemployment problem in Nigeria is not subsiding because there are fewer skilled workers, thereby allowing foreigners to dominate the oil and gas sector.
When you see the number of those who are graduating from the technical schools or the engineering department that are coming out, they are going into the banking banks. They are going to take up banking jobs, marketers, chief executives, and all of it. They are not practicing. They are not working in technical sectors. And that is why we're having this big gap. And that's why you see a lot of foreigners coming to take up the technical jobs.
And to the world of entertainment, Nigerian movie industry, popularly called Nollywood, has grown to promote the qualities of actors and actresses, as well as enrich the African culture over the years through creative script writing, directing, and producing. In this report, CoreTV takes a look at filmmaking in the 21st century, the challenges and opportunities that abound. Netu Labare has more.
Nollywood,
third largest in the world after Americans' Hollywood and India's Bollywood, showcases bright brains who has made the Nigerian screen and stage a force to reckon with. The quality of films produced yearly attests to this. Challenges abound, however. Femi Odugbemi, an award-winning filmmaker, writer, and photographer, speak on the opportunities that abound in this growing industry. As one who writes, directs, documentaries, drama, and commercials, Odugbemi believes creativity has no bounds. Nollywood has given people an economic opportunity to express themselves and become self-employed.
Nollywood presents an incredible opportunity, not just for employment, but for contributing to Nigeria's economy in a big way. You have to think, first of all, of the primary economic opportunities, which is actually the employment that Nollywood provides for young people as creative people to express themselves, but not just to express themselves, but to make a living at storytelling. We have an incredible advantage in that the Nigerian audience wants to consume Nigerian stories, and because of that, Nollywood will continue to grow.
Government cannot ignore such a large, creative, and striving industry like Nollywood.
Well, I don't think it has much of a choice. The truth of the matter is there is great economic advantage in a film-making environment. I think it would be ill-advised for government to ignore. What I think is critical for this government to do is to go a step forward beyond what the last government has done. The last government has tried to invest money in the creation of content. The last government has tried to invest money in the training of people within the industry.
And also, government should assist Nollywood in fighting piracy of films in Nigeria.
The fact that we have so much copyright infringement, the fact that you still have people violating people's economic investment in such a flagrant way is really sad.
No doubt, Nollywood has come to stay. While millions of Nigerians ask for more creativity from the industry, filmmakers will compete with their counterparts all over the world. In no distant future from now, Nigeria will be a society where filmmaking can strive better. Netu Elare, CoreTV News, Lagos.
We take another break and we'll be back with stories from outside Nigeria. Stay tuned.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome. And on the foreign scene, ruling Islamist party dominates urban areas, but lost out on total seat to party of authenticity and modernity. The Interior Ministry reported a voter turnout of 52%. Morocco's Islamist party has dominated urban areas in local elections, but lost out in total seat to a liberal opposition party in local polls. Preliminary results suggest. With 81% of ballot counted on counted on Saturday. The Party of Authenticity and Modernity took 20% of votes, translating into 5,064 seats. The ruling Justice and Development Party got 17% of the votes, winning control of councils in the main cities of Casablanca, Tangiers, Rabat, Fez, and Agadir. About 30,000 local council seats and 700 regional council seats were contested by more than 140,000 candidates from at least 30 parties. The Interior Ministry reported the turnout of 52%. The elections were seen as an important test of the popularity of the Islamist-led government, which came to power after the pro-democracy demonstrations of the 2011 Arab Spring. Strikes come one day after 60 Gulf soldiers, including 45 Emirates, were killed in an attack in central Yemen. There are unconfirmed reports that at least 8 people have died in overnight raids on Sahana. The UAE has bombarded Yemen's Shah Houthi rebels with airstrike as it manned 45 soldiers, among at least 60 troops killed in the deadliest day yet for a Saudi-led coalition fighting the rebels. On Saturday, UAE warplanes launched pre-dawn bombing raids against the rebels in the eastern province of Maharib, where the coalition troops were killed, and in Yemen's rebel-held capital, Sahana, as well as Houthi strongholds of Sahada in the far north and the central city of Ib, state media reported. Its aircraft unleashed waves of airstrikes on the rebel-held capital from the early hours, causing panic among residents. The street remained deserted as the bombing continued into daylight. There were unconfirmed reports that at least 8 people were killed in the capital. And it's a wrap on CoreTV News at this hour. Thank you so very much for watching. My name is Omotayo.